Philadelphia, June 17, 2010. The sting of antiseptic crawled up my nose and roused me from the deep sleep that had wrapped itself around me like a tight cocoon. It felt as though the darkness struggled to hang on to me as much as I fought to get out from under it. But little by little, the harsh bright light of the hospital room forced its way into my consciousness. I blinked awake in confusion. Disjointed fragments of memory or fantasy rattled around in my unconscious mind like a kaleidoscope that couldn't quite come together. Was I dreaming? Was this a hallucination? It seemed I remembered everything and nothing all at once. My stomach lurched as I tried to piece together the bloody, horrific scene that lingered just on the outskirts of my memory, something that felt vivid enough to be real and recent, but muffled enough to dance around my consciousness like a really bad dream. I strained to remember as I surveyed the tiny room in which I lay, attached to an IV and a monitor that rhythmically beeped along with each strong, steady heartbeat. It was undeniably soothing, considering I couldn't feel most of my body. This was thanks in no small part to the heavy drugs whose influence I was probably under. I glanced down at the thin hospital gown that covered my chest, expecting instead to see a load of bricks stacked there, pinning me to the bed. I squeezed my eyes shut as it all came back to me in a flash. Like a gunshot. I lay there on the concrete next to him, watching the blood pump from the wound in his stomach. At least, I think it was his stomach. It might not have even been his wound. I wanted to feel around on my body for any bandages, but my fingers didn't want to move. My arms felt like dead weight on either side of me. The mystery remained if I'd been injured by the gunfire or just the weight of his body falling on top of me and sending us both to the ground. But it had been his blood, and I couldn't stop it from spilling from his body, though I surely did try. I screamed at him to stay awake as the loud wail of the ambulance grew closer, but those beautiful dark eyes fluttered closed with the faint whisper of his breath. My throat threatened to close in on me as I squeezed my eyes and prayed for the blackness to return, to engulf me, to take away this pain that had suddenly made itself at home in the hollow of my chest. All I wanted in that moment was to forget, to go back in time and erase an unbalanced relationship that had been doomed from the start, for his sake and for mine. I may not have been able to avoid falling in love with Giovanni Carnevale. The mistake was when I thought I could ever claim him as mine.